Good morning, students. Our today's topic is human health and disease. As chapter evolution is removed by the CBSE, so we will start with chapter 8 human health and diseases. Health for a long time was considered as a state of body and mind where there was a balance of certain humors. What are humors? The humors were part of the ancient theory that held that health came from balance between the bodily fluids like blood, bile, water, etc. This is what early Greeks like Hippocrates as well as Indian Ayurveda system of medicine asserted. It was thought that persons with black bile belonged to hot personality and would have fevers. This idea was arrived at by pure reflective thought. And the discovery of blood circulation by William Harvey using experimental method and the demonstration of normal body temperature in persons with black bile using thermometer disapproved the good humor hypothesis of health. So it was not considered. Mind and mental state can affect our health. Of course, health is affected by genetic disorders, infections, lifestyle, etc. The term health is very frequently used by everybody. But what is health? The health does not simply mean absence of disease or physical fitness. It could be defined as a complete physical, mental and social well-being. When people are healthy, they are more efficient at work. This increases productivity and brings economic prosperity. Health also increases longevity of people and reduces infant and maternal mortality. Maternal means mother's death at the time of delivery. Balanced diet, personal hygiene, and regular exercise are very important to maintain good health. When the functioning of one or more organ or systems of the body is adversely affected, characterized by various signs and symptoms, we say that we are not healthy. That is, we have a disease. Disease can be broadly grouped into infectious and non-infectious. Disease can be infectious. The diseases which are easily transmitted from one person to another are called infectious diseases. Infectious diseases are very common and every one of us suffers from these at some time or the other. Some of the infectious diseases like AIDS are fatal. Among non-infectious diseases, cancer is the major cause of death. Drug and alcohol abuse also affect our health adversely. Now, what are the common diseases in human? Such disease-causing organisms are called pathogens. Definition of pathogen. Disease-causing organisms are called pathogens. Most parasites are therefore pathogens as they cause harm to our body, to the host, by living in or on them. The pathogens can enter our body by various means, multiply and interfere with normal vital activities, resulting in morphological, means structural and functional damage. Pathogens have to adapt to life within the environment of the host. Now, in this chapter, we will study about the disease and their causal organism. So, in your copy, on one page, draw a line. On one side, write the name of the disease, and other side write the causal organism. So in one paper all these will be there, and at the time of learning or at the time of exam you can learn all the names. So like first is typhoid. Write on the top of the paper disease. On the next side right, divide the page into two parts. On the next side right, causal organism. Disease is typhoid and causal organism is Salmonella typhi. Learn these names. These names usually comes in your exam. So, Salmonella typhi is a pathogenic bacterium which causes typhoid fever in human beings. These pathogens generally enter the small intestine through food and water contaminated with them and migrate to other organs through blood. So, through food, it enters in our body. Sustained high fever, weakness, stomach pain, constipation, headache, and loss of appetite are some of the common symptoms of this disease. Intestinal perforation. Perforation means holes. Intestinal perforation and death may occur in severe cases. Typhoid fever could be confirmed by Vidal test. Important word. Typhoid can be detected by Vidal test. A classic case in medicine, that of Mary Mellon, nicknamed Typhoid Mary, is worth mentioning here. She was a cook by profession and was a typhoid carrier who continued to spread typhoid for several years through the food she prepared. Next disease is pneumonia and causal organism is Streptococcus pneumoniae or Haemophilus influenzae. Bacteria like Streptococcus pneumoniae and Haemophilus influenzae are responsible for the disease pneumonia, which affects the alveoli of the lungs. As a result of the infection, the alveoli get filled with fluid, leading to severe problems in respiration. The symptoms of pneumonia include fever, chills, cough, and headache. In severe cases, the lip and fingernails may turn gray to bluish in color. A healthy person acquires the infection by inhaling the droplets, aerosols released by an infected person, or even by sharing glasses and utensils with an infected person. Dysentery, plague, diphtheria, etc. are some of the bacterial diseases in man. So, here question can be asked, write the two symptoms of the disease pneumonia. So, learn what are the symptoms of pneumonia, what are the causal organism of pneumonia, etc. Many viruses also cause diseases in human beings. Rhinovirus. So, next disease is common cold caused by rhinovirus. Write in your copy. They infect the nose and respiratory passage but not the lungs. So, the rhinovirus mainly affects the upper tract of the body. The common cold is characterized by nasal congestion and discharge, sore throat, hoarseness, cough, headache, tiredness, etc., which usually last for 3 to 7 days. Droplets resulting from cough or sneeze of an infected person are either inhaled directly or transmitted through contaminated objects such as pen, books, cups, etc., and cause infection in a healthy person. So, next is malaria, and here the causal organism is protozoa, Plasmodium. Malaria is a disease a man has been fighting since many years. Plasmodium, a tiny protozoan, is responsible for this disease. Different species of Plasmodium, learn the names of the different species. They are Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium malariae, and Plasmodium falciparum. Of these, malignant malaria caused by Plasmodium falciparum and is the most serious and can be fatal. Fatal means which can cause death. Now, let us study the life cycle of Plasmodium on the page number 148, figure 8.1. Plasmodium enters the human body as sporozoites through the bite of the infected female Anopheles mosquito. When female Anopheles mosquito bites the person, the mosquito, the female releases sporozoites into the blood. The parasites initially multiply within the liver and then attack the red blood cells, resulting in their rupture. First, the sporozoites enter into the liver, there they multiply, and after that they infect the red blood cells also, and there also they multiply, which causes the bursting of the red blood cells. The rupture of red blood cell is associated with the release of the toxic substance known as hemozoin, which is responsible for chill and high fever recurring every 3 to 4 days. Because of this toxic substance hemozoin, chill and high fever occurs to the person. When a female Anopheles mosquito bites an infected person, these parasites enter the mosquito's body. When another mosquito bites that person, then that person, the mosquito sucks the blood. The parasites then goes into the new mosquito. The parasites multiply within them to form sporozoites. They are stored in their salivary glands. These are stored as sporozoites in the salivary glands of the other mosquito. When this mosquito bites a human, the sporozoites are introduced into the another person, thereby initiating the event mentioned above. It is interesting that malarial parasite requires two hosts, human and mosquito, to complete its life cycle. The female Anopheles mosquito is the vector, which help in transferring the disease pathogens, which help in transferring the disease causing pathogens. So this is very important diagram, figure 8.1. Learn this diagram, practice this diagram. From here the question can come, explain the life cycle of Plasmodium. Next disease is Amoeboises, which is caused by a protozoa Entamoeba histolytica. Write in your copy, disease Amoeboises, causal organism Entamoeba histolytica. Symptoms of this disease include constipation, abdominal pain, cramp, stools with excess mucus, blood clots. Houseflies act as mechanical carrier to serve to transmit the parasite from feces of infected person to food and food products, thereby contaminating them. Drinking water and food contaminated by the fecal matter are the main source of infection. Next disease is Ascariasis, caused by Ascaris, a common roundworm. So Ascaris, the common roundworm, and Wuchereria, the filarial worm, are some of the helminths, these platyhelminths, which are known to be pathogenic to man. Ascaris, an intestinal parasite, causes Ascariasis. Symptoms of these disease include internal bleeding, muscular pain, fever, anemia, and blockage of the intestinal passage. The eggs of parasite are excreted along the feces of infected person, which contaminates soil, water, plants, etc. A healthy person acquired this infection through contaminated water, fruit, vegetables, etc. Next is Elephantiasis or Filariasis disease, caused by Wuchereria bancrofti or Wuchereria malai. Learn these names and write the name of disease and causal organism. The filarial worm cause a slowly developing chronic inflammation of the organ in which they live for many years. Usually the lymphatic vessels of the lower limbs and the disease is called elephantiasis. In this, the lower organs, lower limbs become swollen due to this disease. The genital organs are also often infected, resulting in gross deformities. The pathogens are transmitted to a healthy person through the bite of female mosquito vector. So female here act as a vector for transferring this disease. Learn till here. Afterwards we will continue with this chapter. If any doubt, you can ask me. Thank you.